Okay, good. You know, maybe we'll try. Let's try Facebook Live. Let's see if that comes through all right. Testing. Widget will automatically connect when you start streaming to YouTube, but I am streaming to YouTube. No, no com check. Let's see if we can also kill some tasks. Most of these don't need to be. No, should be fine. Alright, why is this not loading? Fine, unhaul it. And we need to do a YouTube com check too. Com check. Alright, Facebook com check successful. Good. Well, I might be able to replace my entire chat monitoring with this. Hey Emily, and hello Renee, and hello Karen. My new system here is being finicky. I don't like it when my system's being finicky. This means I can't see my YouTubes, people. We're gonna do a little bit of messing with the monitoring window. finally. Well, that was annoying. It's the one constant gripe I have with XSplit. Because its chat interfaces are very, very fickle. How's everybody doing tonight? Get our filming going. We need to have this bowl available. This bowl can be used to hold on to this gun. All right. Alright, I'm going to get rid of those. Help with the CPU stuff. And good, we're all front and center on the thing, so I can turn off the mouse. And do some more good. Good, that's all softened up. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. That area down there is a little grimy. Let's, make it so I don't have to pick up any desk particulates. Got to take the old rag, put it down here, and get the desk free of garbage. Okay. There. Let's fire up the quarter. It's front and center. Good. Excellent. Paste is a little thin tonight. That's not really a big deal, though. Good evening, Bruce. How it goes. Probably won't need that much clay on that. Nice thin bands. Be very happy when I can actually start sculpting this guy's face. Saw a fellow asking on one of the Halloween groups where to get inexpensive foam pumpkins, and I said, don't do foam pumpkins! Use the mache. Nice. Hope you have a lot of good luck with that one this year. I'll see what my cash situation is like sometime in the next few weeks, and then decide if I can afford to go down to Home Depot and grab anything new. Otherwise, I've got like 4 witch orbs that still need mounting. Yeah, it'll be nice. Not holding out tons of hope, just with the way things went and that last minute car repair, but no biggie. No biggie at all. Whew. Make sure we just keep working on this guy. Never stop, never stop. Sam Haynes has released the pre-release for his new album. I am stoked to see that. His pre-order up over on Bandcamp for $3, which I think is an incredible price considering all the work that I know went into it. And it's over on Bandcamp. I think I have a link for it in the YouTube description if anybody's interested. I just like to support him because he gave me permission to use his music on my channel. Yeah, I think you'll have better luck with the let's put my mouse. Mouse. Lord almighty. There we go. Good. I think you'll have better luck keeping your themes separate. There's a much reduced play on the need for suspension of disbelief. And that's the thing we've done for a while, which we believe is successful. And Renee, don't forget to send a picture of that first pumpkin when it's all done over to the Unhallowed group on Facebook if you use Facebook. I always love seeing people's stuff. If you don't use Facebook, don't worry about it. But if you do, I'd love to see stuff. Oh boy. I was really hoping that big chat viewer would also work for the YouTubes, but it's being silly. And I'm probably being over detailed here because I have a feeling a lot of this stuff is going to be submerged under sculpting layers. But I like to do it right. My stuff on the top will still need to be interfaced with it. I have a feeling this tooth is going to condense together. I expect this evening I probably really need to take the footage downstairs and offload it onto the computer. Maybe offload it onto Google too, just in case. It's nice having that backup. YouTube's been kind of quiet. I want to make sure it's not because my chat software is screwing up again. I think they can figure this out. Yep, good. It's not because of that. Alright, cool. And Will can see me over on Facebook. Excellent. Always very panicky about my comms. Hello, Linda. How we doing? Another fun night for me here, getting this pumpkin layered. Wish I could say it's going fast, but I don't know. Yeah, Bruce, I stream on Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube all at once. Until recently, the YouTube system was working very well, but I had to slap in their HTML5 viewer, which I only usually do at the last minute because the other one wasn't working. which is mildly frustrating. Whoa! 7 hours of layering. God dang, Linda. You were dedicated. I usually find at my best I can only do about 4. But I'm willing to bet you have quite a few pumpkins ready to go after that. Or at least zooming through the early stages. I always find myself wishing that the drying steps were a little bit faster. But last night I thought about hopping on and doing a little bit of work, but it was like, nope. My brain is french fried after playing a 9-hour board game. Instead, we shall sleep. No problem. I think the sauce update is pretty minor, unless you're talking about the whole technique of painting things down. Because otherwise, liquid starch just turned into, why am I doing this again? There's starch in flour after all. I know that boiling it unchains the molecule a bit, but I don't think the rechaining of it afterwards adds any great strength. That really depends on the size, Bruce, for how long they take. Like, this one is pretty big. I am a bit stupid, in fact, for making this my tutorial pumpkin, because this guy's bloody huge, and I didn't think he was this big when I started, but I'm feeling it now. And I've been working on him for maybe a little over a week. And the problem isn't necessarily him or the technique, it's the drying time. Because I've got these big old chunks of stuff that need to get done, but then they need time to dry. And there have been 2 days where I didn't work on them at all, just due to work, me being tired, etc. So I should just do the hold on thing now. You know. Yeah, like a 12-inch across beach ball should take, I don't know, maybe a week or so. And again, that's mostly due to the drying time. I'm also just going to try doing some larger swatches of layer here, rather than trying to individually strip sections down. I can just take the whole bloody thing, smack it in and on. And then just hit my layer lines quickly with the pencil to make sure they don't go anywhere. Yeah, no kidding. Only we didn't have these stupid jobs. We'd just sit around and do Halloween crafting all day long. Stupid need to pay rent and keep food on the table for your families. God, jeez. Do they not know about crafting? What the hell? Oops, that pencil. There it is. Alright, so I got a line up there, a line up here, and I got a line up there. I'm hoping to try to get the whole face of this guy done, because once that's set, I can get the fun part rolling. I want this to be ridiculously thick. So I need a wick there. Biggest problem with the lines is keeping them authentic. As you go on down through. It's a square tooth. I have had dreams of some place where everybody in a particular street or neighborhood was a haunt enthusiast and did their own cool Halloween thing every year. And that whole area was just like a super haunter's haven. I'm sure it exists somewhere in the U.S. Not in my town, though. That's okay. Alright, so this one comes down most of the way. That one goes through there. This one goes through here. There's another one there. There's one down through here. That one keeps going here. There, okay. Oh boy. Let's work on this for a while. There's lots of different motifs you can do and have a lot of fun with. So many haunt motifs. I love my cornfield and graveyard, though. To me, that's the heart of Halloween. Castle motif certainly isn't bad. I think I've been spoiled. Thanks, Rita. Having been able to go to the UK, you really tend to see castles a lot more as the defensive structures than haunt locations. Certainly getting there. Today we'll finish up the face section and its paint down. Yeah, that's always the problem with neighborhood decorates. Not everybody participates. Got a little too much clay in here for the depth. Some of the clay can be redirected towards a sculpt, but not too much. Otherwise it'll be too deep and it won't dry for squat. So we got a line here. Good. I have not been down to Romania. No. I hear that I hear interesting things. Apparently the castle that is marketed as Dracula's castle, if he ever stayed there, he only stayed there for an extremely limited time. And it certainly wasn't any kind of final holdfast or anything like that. But it is a very impressive and nice castle, from what I hear. Prince Vlad of Wallachia was a very interesting figure in history, I'll give him that. In a certain way, Wallachia was in an absolutely, completely untenable historical situation. The Ottomans at their height to your south, the Hungarians to your north. None of them really want to see you A, powerful, and B, independent, because you serve the status of being a buffer state that will prevent a more costly conflict between Hungary and the Ottoman Sultanate. Absolutely impossible situation historically. Did they remake Candyman, Katie? Or is it a re-release to theaters? I was talking about a castle. A castle, a prince, and history stuff. So it is a remake of the original, and not a re-release of the original? I really love the original Candyman. Ugh. Still have some space to knock this into place. And then I'll have a bottom quarter to do once that goes. Okay, so it's like Candyman, like 4, then. I am very curious to see how that adaptation works as well. Cool. The only casting choice that I believe the internet has had some controversy on, but I don't think is a real problem, is the, as I understand, the guy they have to play Gomez is the same guy who played, oh god, that one pirate hangout, Jacobo, in, god damn it, why can't I remember the film? The Ultimate Escape Story. Satata. Count of Monte Cristo. Thank you, Brain. Brain finally kicked in. Woo! I think it'll be fun no matter what. You can't really have an Addams Family movie that isn't fun. They're all pretty fun. How bad did I overdo the clay? A little bit. I have one which is on the painting stage. Yeah. I'll haul it out in a little bit. My hands aren't quite so gooky. My goal, though, was to get to the painting stage with everybody. So we have one great big honkin' paint. I can probably do a little bit more face sculpting on the crazy guys. So let's I feel like there should be a line in here. Let's take at least a line down here, because I want these teeth to be pits. That's fine. Let's take a line down here. Bare minimum you want to do before removing the beach ball is make sure you have an outer clay shell first, because the paper alone is not guaranteed to hold up, especially after you start mounting wet clay to the outside. Because if you add wet clay on top of paper, that paper then grabs the moisture from the clay, becomes less rigid, and can start to collapse. So you need either a clay shell on the outside, or you need to have done your pumpkin ridges directly onto the surface of the paper while the ball is still in there. I absolutely adore this texturing method too. I think it's hugely superior, very authentic looking. I think it's just stellar. I think you can't go wrong with it. And if you can go wrong with it, I don't want to know about it. Make sure the junction there is okay, and then it's time to do a paint down. I'll make sure that my sauce is ideally 6. I think you can get away with 5. One of these days I want to try 3 just to see if there's a way to do it without putting anywhere near as many layers on it. I honestly don't think it'll be that hard. I think you can get away with 3, but I'm going to say 6 because the last thing I want is for somebody to put 3 on there, have it collapse on them, and then blame me for being a dickhead. He told me on his channel how to ruin my pumpkin. What a dick. Yep, I just like layering a lot. It takes a while. It's not very fun. You don't get to be hugely expressly creative with it. It's rough. Ah, splatter splash. Whoops. That's what the smock is for. Yep, I did. Part of the hazards of pumpkineering. Scorch. I do not, Stacy. No more liquid starch. Okay, let's have a look. That's not bad. Alright, so those are the deep grooves. Time for the small grooves. Time to talk at the camera, actually. Everybody just give me a sec. I got a tutorialism here. Alright, so I've got the face pretty much covered, and just like I did with the last times, I've done all the deep grooves and I painted it down. Now I'm going to use my butter knife equivalent. I'm going to do the tiny grooves and then give them a lighter paint down so we get some nice pumpkin texture the whole way through. Hello, Victoria! And you're very welcome. I love doing this. It is awesome. It is fun. It's very enjoyable one way or the other. this next video out though, so that I can show everybody the texturing technique here. I never used to think you'd be able to get a 100% authentic, or at least a high percent authentic pumpkin texture without doing some massive time-consuming work. This really isn't that time-consuming. Alright, tiny grooves are in. And we'll give it another blast and talk to the camera real quick. All my tiny grooves are in. I'm going to give it now a much lighter coat to just give them their cementation into the form. Yeah, I like to seal all my pumpkins, no matter what. At the very least, you get a moderate amount of weather protection, even if it's not the best. But considering that small amounts of rain can pop down there at any given time, always best to have a little bit of weather protection. And give me just a sec, guys, because I've got the camera on me. So if I suddenly stop to peer heavily at the screen, that's going to show up in the tutorial. Give me a sec to finish up this, talk at the camera again, and then I will happily refocus you guys and answer all questions. Won't set this. Okay. And there we have the pumpkin texture pretty much laid on throughout most of the pumpkin. I've got a few spots like in the quarter back here, which I'm just going to do the exact same way that I've done this entire way through. Well, thank God for unscripted. And we will get ourselves happily pumpkined. But there's the texture we're going for. I do want to make sure that areas that need to join up later on are good, smooth, and ready for that transition. Otherwise, this guy's going on to dry, and I will see you after he hardens up. Okay, we're off camera. Okay. So, let's answer a question. Paste recipe, the only thing that's different is I do not add liquid starch to it anymore. That is it. And new problem, always happy to share tips. I've got a fair few witch bottles. I don't know if I need to make more for this year, but we'll see. Witch bottle is probably one of my favorite projects just because it's so simple, easy, fun, and the product you get out of it is absolutely excellent. I also, with this one, I added a little bit more drywall joint compound to the clay because I've got a spot where when I started over here, this was incredibly, incredibly smooth. And the last bit I did over here is much more rumply-bumply. And I wondered if the amount of drywall joint compound had any kind of effect on that. So I'll be able to let you know as soon as this thing dries and I can compare this to this side and its opposite and find out if the amount of joint compound really affects it. And I would say the amount I put in was maybe 2 cups worth of paste, or let's see, because I completely eyeballed it. Let's call it 3 cups of paste and maybe 1.5 cups worth of drywall compound. God, the smoother it is, the better it is, because that's just less work you need to do, or nobody's going to notice on Halloween night that, you know, you're almost working for yourself as an artist to go for the smoother or whatever you like, because on Halloween night nobody's going to care. But I like it smoother just because it's more like a pumpkin. The whole goal was to make this. At the end, I would love to have a pumpkin and one of these guys sitting next to each other on a stream and, you know, say which one's the pumpkin and have people really have to guess at it. One's going to have a very much rounder shape and that'll be the dead giveaway, but texture wise I want people to be really, really torn as to which one's the pumpkin. I want them to have a very, very, very accurate pumpkin texture. And obviously with minimal work, so I'm going to set this guy to dry, and then we'll work on some of the other projects. Oh, I'm going to try to not trip over the everything. Good. He's drying. And then we'll finally get to sculpt his face. Oh. Okay, let's grab the Scully boy. All right, the watered down glue coat that I threw on top doesn't seem to be. Let's get that out of the way. Doesn't seem to have left a coating with appreciable feel to it. I'm willing to bet that it probably had a water repellent quality though. Let's put a drop on him. I don't know, maybe not. Alright, nothing noticeable. Okay, but I knew this would be all gobbly-goobledy. I think if you're on YouTube, if you scroll down a little bit in the video description, because I've been remembering to paste my FAQ on there. Yeah, in the video description it said, do you craft with everybody on the streams? Want to share your picture? Post it here, and then www.facebook.com/unhallowedhaunt. That link should hopefully take you to where you need to go. Alright, so we'll use the rest. Well, we'll use some of this clay is going to have to get left away. Alright, any sections here I can't stand. They're mostly alright. No, I've never tried any wood paste on these guys. Not at all. Stodgy old me. I've just been using the same recipe for football ever. Let's get a little bit of the reason I made this stem like this was so I could extend it with relative ease. Thank you, Benita. Yeah, they definitely started as an extension of Twisted Seed, his video, because my first stuff, it was a clone of his recipes. I watched his video and I gave it a mild spruce and released mine based on it. Honestly, only over the last year have I gone for this pumpkin authentic look, which I will now stick with. And honestly, this was developed with viewers, because I was sitting here, we were working away. Somebody said, "Hey, try this," and I started it, and I went, "Huh," and I kept going. The more I went, "Ah." So, really, this method it's part me and much more viewers. Yeah. Absolutely. Alright, let's get some awesome, yeah. We'll be happy to have you around for all future projects. Hopefully we got good stuff coming. I add some of the teacher flair, but that's about it. I got my way of doing things. And I have a computer, and I went and I did all the streaming craziness. That's about it. Let's get another contact back here. I should actually be able to save this clay that I've got right now. Let's get that junction so it looks like one piece. Probably go a little bit taller. That jaw really. That's nice in there. Whatever I did here, super smooth up top, but much rougher down here. I really think it has to do with the joint compound percentage in your mix, but we'll know for sure when that dries. 100%. So I'd like to know because I can share it with everybody. And we can all have super smooth pumpkins. Alright, can't take it much further up than that. Make sure none of the stress is applied to his teeth. Just let him eat the eat the thing. Oh. And let's make sure we paint the paste down. Reasonably, yeah. If I had an old plastic pumpkin I wanted to do this to, I'd coat the outside with either a layer of mache or bare minimum a layer of masking tape to make sure that I had something that was vaguely cellulose / carbohydrate based on the outside. And once that was done, then you could start smacking on clay to it. Sculpt it as much as you wanted to, not a problem. But you need that initial layer of carb-based material. Really want to carve out the rest of his face. Just wait till the stem is... I could do a very small stem on him and just cock it off to the side. Call it good. Because I can coat any part I don't like with witchwood and it'll look beautiful. So let that dry. Let's see if we can use up any more clay on Crazy Eyes. Yeah, he's very rough too. Kind of wondering. Of course. There you go. Yeah, that skull was fun. Is this viable? For the outermost layer, yeah. Okay. All right. There's that really rough spot. Witchwood's an awesome technique that can be applied to just about anything spooky. Alright, yeah, I'd say that really takes care of it, quite frankly. Yeah. Because quite frankly, it pulls off the little ridgy flakes on the flats, and then you can't feel anything that's in the grooves, so... Oh, perfect. Problem fixed. Oh, how about this really rough patch? I've sanded pumpkins before, just never usually on camera. It's not worth it to do it for a very long time frame. And also I get muscle cramps real easy. Alright. Let us consider the potential problems. Hey Angel, how we doing? Del Rio, Texas. Awesome. Very cool. Oof. Hello, little muscle cramp. How are you? You know. Ouch. Right, are we done cramping now? It's a little annoying. I have work to do. We may as well go ahead and get that out of there. I figure your stuff was a mess for right now, Pearl. I remember what the last big hurricane that came through down there was. That is really deep. I hate muscle cramps. They inhibit my work. Good. Well, Pearl lives down in hurricane target zone there, Katie, so she hits these quite a bit. We may have to try a new method. Alright. So I might need to try a new method, but I don't want to put my lips on something that has paper clay on it. Just suck the air out. Ah! So you guys aren't that far apart. Damn it. Alright, stop. Cramping. Come on. Them Gulf states. I actually abandoned a 5-gallon pail of drywall compound at my old address, thinking I'd just get another one, and now I kind of wish I'd brought it with me. Yeah, I'm very safe from the wiles of hurricanes. The only part of hurricanes we ever see is the tail end, where it's just a rainstorm. I also heard Cape Cod got nailed pretty good. Alright. There's another ball extracted. I might just do a quick face carve out on him. First, I'm going to use the restroom though. Back in just a sec. Alright, I'm going to carve this guy out. I really want to see the spiral eyes. I want to judge the sturdiness of the spiral eyes. Alright, I'm going to put everybody on an extended mute while I carve. And we're carved. Okay. He does look a little cute. I'll not dispute that. It's an unintended consequence. Purely coincidental. He can be made scarier, to be sure. Let's get a few spots that are going to be a little post-Dremel tweaking. Probably do that off camera though, so it'll take a little time. Won't be very entertaining. Yeah, spiral eyes work though, so that's good. Oh. One of the easiest ways to mount your Dremel, incidentally. You got one of these cheapo little benches with PVC. You can get a PVC extension, just put it on the top. I've just got a little metal hook in there that snakes back up and an S hook, and there it sits. So simple, simple, simple. So, the thing I wanted to know is, well, there's several things I want to know, and probably ought to delitter the inside a little bit. This method always generates a fair amount of I shouldn't say pumpkin fluff, but screw it, pumpkin fluff. And on the beach ball pumpkin, it is not uncommon when you first pull your beach ball away from the inside for there to be a little bit of moisture on the inside. And I don't mean wet, but what I mean is I left the cotton shirt on the hanging rack on a day with 99% humidity. So I can feel just a tiny little bit of ambient moisture in there. So if I give him a little bit of time, then that moisture on the inside will clear out without a problem. Alright. Then I need to think about, do I want to try to rehabilitate and do I want to make gum lines for the teeth? Yeah, pretty much. The inside will feel like a Louisiana day. Let's see if we want that tooth to be a stabber. I think that will complement his crazy face, quite frankly. So I think I'll make this tooth a stabber, and I'll make the other tooth a stabber too. Yeah, I found the spiral eyes somewhere on the net when I was first looking for a face for him. And I said, I want to try the spiral eyes. So let's see what we got. This lens will be nice because I can take this all the way back and use it to rehabilitate some of the structure on his front. Make it a little bit more in line with what he should have had if I had done the lining correctly on him from the onset. Plus, he's going to need a little bit of nasal sculpting anyway. Let's give him some nasal sculpting too. Oh, pardon. You easily could get them from there, Katie. I just ordered mine from Amazon, mostly because I wanted an array of different sizes. And obviously, if you get them at the right time of year, like right now, they're going to be cheap as chips because everybody's trying to dump their summer inventory as much as possible. I'd actually kind of be tempted to go to like a Dollar Tree right now because if they still even have beach balls in stock, they'll be in the super bargain basement ring. Sam Haines said there's a new album out now, I'd kick it up. Copyright strikes be damned. Actually, I wouldn't get a copyright strike from him because he authorized me to use his stuff. So. Another reason I love his music. It's not greedy. Fair enough. I really do recommend the beach ball method. It is super superior as far as I'm concerned. Pics of which? So pictures can be done. It's just a matter of what do you want pictures of. Definitely going to use up this clay, which is awesome. A number of folks have contributed them over on the Facebook page if you're interested. There's a link for that in the description. Nice. I assumed IG, your finished pumpkins, was an autocorrect or misprint error, because I'm not sure what IG refers to. Madge, get your claws off the curtains. Psst. Oh, you're hooked. Please don't pull the curtain down as you try to unhook. Please. Okay, she unhooked. Good. You crazy little bear. You're a crazy little bear. Yes. Oh, I love my cat. Hi, Fuzzface. How you doing? Instagram. Because, yeah, unfortunately I don't really do Instagram. Mostly for the fact that a lot of my students use Instagram, and I like being on Facebook because according to them it's for old people. This is probably going to be one of the most clown-like pumpkins I've ever created. Hey, Cobwebs, how we doing? Yeah, perpetual concern to me. Oh, nice. Yeah, that's one way to jack your beach ball collection. Very cool. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend you try to get your beach balls off of, like, Wish. It's going to take for flip all lever 1, and 2, you might not get the best quality. Which isn't a huge issue until they burst in your with your stuff inside and unhardened. Okay. Yeah, sometimes oriental trading does well. Excellent. Nothing like good stability. I better use this one. Hey, Spooky, how we doing? Oh, I'm glad I got some face sculpting going on this guy this evening. I've been wanting to face sculpt for a week. Alright, so let's do line. Actually, let's do a build up. Build up on either side of the line. How are we on this nose? There's one problem with that wooden tool. Okay. I got a groove here. I have a groove here. I have a groove here. Groove here. Which means I have a groove here. I should look into some silicone tools. In fact, I will go on Amazon later tonight. See what can be seen. Ride the ridges on these. That's not bad. Well, it's not going to be great. That'll be actually fixed better with sculpting. Ourselves a little ridge there. A line here. We'll just let it dry. If there's any additional smoothing that needs doing, we'll do it with sandpaper. Come on. Good. Alright, down here, got a ridge, but I can probably just mold that into the side. The same with this. Nobody's going to look at that extensively, particularly from the bottom edge. Smooth out the junction. And hit the gum line. And just push that last bit in. Perfect. In fact, let's just scrape up the tooth. I've got a gouge. Let's do that. Gouge going down the tooth. And I can always follow that up later with the Dremel if I need to. It's easy peasy. Alright, let that dry. Close enough. I do have a line that goes through this one. Ah, it's getting there. We're gonna get there. All the stuff I'm doing right now is just nitpicky sculpting. Very, very, very nitpicky sculpting. Designed to make me feel better more than anyone else. Because again, on Halloween night, nobody's going to notice these fine details in the dark. But I'll feel better knowing they're there. You know, so few trick-or-treaters stop to really look at things. Everybody's just kind of, ooh, neat, spooky scene, look at this, look at that. Okay, we're gone. Nobody really leans down over a pumpkin and goes, wow, you got all the lines right in to mesh. My buddy Don and I joke about this every single year. We talk about the mythical nitpicky trick-or-treater who goes, hey, what the hell, these pumpkin lines don't match up. That's the worst haunt ever. I'll never come back here again. And this applies to all aspects of the haunt. Like, oh, this decoration is 2 feet to the right. You left too much empty space. This is the worst haunt ever. I'll never come back here again. Well, to an extent that's true, Katie, but even still, most of the people who come over, are always just, oh my god, this is so cool, and nobody ever goes, you could have done a little better here. And I'll be honest with you, though, I have some friends who are artists, and whenever they put their work on things like Facebook or whatever display medium they're using, I love to look at it, give them a compliment, and then really look at their work, and usually try to not necessarily call out an area that they might have been able to do better in, but potentially ask a question like, I see in this area you decided to go with this. Was there a particular thought process to that choice? So never put an artist down for doing art, but sometimes it's nice to be like, hey, I noticed that tiny little thing. And, largely I've gotten good reception with that, but it also depends on the artist. Somebody who's confident enough in their art to take that kind of criticism. Not everybody wants it, but, if you've got somebody who's been doing art for a long time, they might be after just a little bit of professional eye rather than just the, oh my god, you're so talented, oh my god. Not everybody does. Alright, so this is actually in a groove, so let's curtail that in the groove. Oh yeah, always some good vibes. You did an art. You did a thing that most folks either don't have the time to do because they're busy with their life and their families, or, aren't inclined to do. So, never go, this sucks! But, depending on the artist, can occasionally do a, this is really good, have you considered? And sometimes they'll flat out be like, yeah, I thought about that, I saw that, and I made this choice for this reason. At which point you go, oh, cool. And then you shut up. Because, yes, they saw that thing, and yes, they thought about it. Proving more goopy than I had originally anticipated. camera fritzed there for a second. I always worried when I see that. Learning-wise, all I'm doing right now is I'm just trying to make sure that these ridge lines smooth their way together and there's no hideously rough transitions there. The problem I'm having is that when you add extra paste to virtually any type of clay, it gets more sticky, and consequently it starts sticking to you more than it sticks to itself. So it smooths nicely, but it starts adhering to you, and when that happens you can pull and flake a whole paper section off, which is moderately annoying. So, no biggie though. Just trying to correct that eyebrow, and now we'll end up with this guy here. This guy here has a ridge line there. Like there, I just pulled a lump of clay away with me when I originally just intended to mash it down. And part of that problem is due to the fact that I swabbed it. What I probably should have done is I should have sculpted it first and then swabbed it. The clay is much more easy to work with when it has a lower moisture content. It behaves better. Fortunately, we don't have any lines that go through that upper part, but we might want to generate one just to look cooler. Alright, so that's been molded, so I'm just going to hit it with some goop and smooth it. Good, that's fine. That's fine. Alright. Just give that a little more of a crease. I'd like to do a tiny little crease in there. Have a good one, Katie. Yeah, what time is it? It's 9:15. It's not too bad. Alright, just a tiny little crease there. More crease there. Good. Alright, now let's have a look at him. Being very careful of that lower jaw. Yeah, by comparison, it's literally. I'll put a little crease here. A few little creases in here, being really careful. Oh, crease right there. I'm not going to smooth those. Just going to let them dry in. If there's any kind of cracks, then I'll hit it with my my clay at a later date. That means I'll follow up with a tiny little crease here. This one is a little bit more gooey, so I'm not going to be as ambitious on that one. Show a tad uneven. That's okay. Alright, the spiral eyes need some cleaning with the Dremel in a few spots. But otherwise, let's see how it looks on camera. Not bad. Not bad. He's almost orcish in his appearance. Orcish and happy. Let's see what kind of crazy stem we give him when he's dry. Well, to an extent you can, but in this case the background texture really complements everything. A paper bag one would be more pear-shaped, and you could put this layer of texture on a paper bag one, but you might not get, you don't get the uniformity, so it'll be more of a chore to put that texture in. Thank you, my dear Twitch viewer there. I'd save the name, but I'm trying to keep my channel PG, so. Yeah, that one came out tolerably okay. And he'll be really set off by his stem. He's got that crazy look. Again, we'll open up the eyes more with the Dremel later. But I'm almost thinking his stem needs like a curly Q when we do that. And will also give me an excuse to put some grooves in the teeth here, like a true carnivore. I don't think any work needs doing on the inner lining. All this got really well smoothed out. I do have paper clay left over though. Let's see if it's worth it. I do love covering up any paper with clay, but I don't know if it's worth it. That's really density. Screw it, no. We say no! In fact, if anything, just hit that with a quick blot of fluid. And I'm willing to bet that'll all run together exceedingly well. Yep, no need to go crazy. Good. Alright, how much clay is left over? And there's a fair splat on here. I don't want to do another unfounded stem, but I might because I hate wasting clay. What we can do is just kind of do a little bit of layering up on the tippy top. That's what I was kind of thinking. I was just going to lay a smack of clay on run it into the bands that have come up. Extend some of the bands into the splat. Smooth it all down, just so that anybody who sees a portion of it doesn't see an uneven surface. Just have it all blend together. And then we'll start ourselves a quick stem nub. And normally for stems, I like to take a rolled up piece of paper, tape it, and get a paper core, but may not be necessary on this, especially if we're just trying to use up leftover clay. And I gotta remember next time to make less clay. Make much less clay. Yeah, I love the paper armature. Particularly if you can get it saturated with fluid and then dry it. It's a more ironclad internal surface. Because clay, if it's got a crack in it, can just flat out break. And the paper has longer carb lines inside and is less likely to do that. Actually, I could. Yeah. Now we'll carve up the skull one next time because I have that stem piece drying on the top. Cool. Smooth that down. Never really had a problem with clay-only stems, but they do have that weakness. There. Run that all together. Awesome, Carol. Glad you had a good time with it. Another down south. The problem is it's hard to say Australia is southwest or southeast. I must say having that mixer is very nice. Nice to short batch. Hey, Samhain, how you doing? Come on over, buddy. Come on. Come on. Aww. Fuzzy bear. He's on the back of my chair right now. Hi. Hi. What's up? You come up. Crazy cat. Let's see if we can convince him to hop up here. Hi. Sam. Sam. Come there. Nope, that's the hop down. I was very surprised with the mixer, and I was worried that because mine was just a Cookly, it wouldn't have the power of a KitchenAid, but does well. I watched the reviews of them and made sure I got one that had a motor with some grunk to it. How far can I go without messing up that tooth? I can go that far. I can go exactly that far. So, wonk. thin this strategically so that we cannot have it dry for days. The stuff on the very top should be able to go downwards. Careful here. Get rid of its moisture there. I definitely mix more clay than cake mix. No question. I do want to do all that in that area. We'll just do a raised ridge. Simple. All right. All right, the bottom's too thick, but whatever. It'll dry eventually. Particularly if I leave a patch there that's open from paint, even if it takes 6-8 months to get fully dry, it will happen. And if it needs extra look, we'll just witchwood it. Which I think I'll probably end up doing no matter what. This guy I think can benefit from witchwood. Hey, Cricket. I used to not like it so much, but my mixer here really just takes the time frame off of it. It's been incredibly handy. Easier even than a drill. You don't make as much, but it enables you to small batch, which is kind of nice. Whereas with the drill, you really need to be like, all right, making paper clay, and I better be making a bunch of pumpkins. Oh god, yeah, hand mixers for clay. Nope, 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 nope. Super nope. Alright, that's all I feel like doing. That's all I can do, because that's all the clay used up. Yeah, hand mixers also just don't have the power. Angle that up. And we'll build it on there. Cool. So there's today's sculpting of Crazy Eyes, which will continue next time. Weirdly enough, if you scroll down on the YouTube stuff, you should see a link that I believe says, what lights are those? Commonly, I refer to them as puck lights because they look like little hockey pucks. And they're really, really effective. They tend to mulch up batteries pretty well, but if you either get because they got rechargeable ones now. So if you get the rechargeable ones, you're in really good shape there. And yeah, go with puck lights. And if you need to, you just get those little switch T lights too, if you want to just have a flame cast. But I like to be able to go, I want my pumpkins to be green. Ha-ha! Yep, 4 per pack. I have some around here, but they're buried in a drawer, and I would have to upset my recording camera to get them. But there's a link right there. So if you want your tea lights to look like pumpkins and just flicker and flash, you get the little battery-powered tea lights. You can get like 100 per pack. If you want very brightly lit blasts of whatever color you want, then I recommend the puck lights. Those are the ones to use. I love them because they're all remote controls. The downside is if you buy one version of them, they might give you one remote control, and then if you get another version of them and they give you another remote control, there's no guarantee all those remotes will be compatible. So you might have to keep a couple remotes with you on Halloween night to turn your stuff on, off, and switch colors. Or some commands on one will work, and some commands will not. It's a complicated little annoyance, but well worth it for the effect you get. Very well worth it. Alright, I must resist the urge to poke and prod at small things, because all you ever do with them when you do that is make it worse. Unfortunately, these guys will all be down to the dry lock and paint stage in probably very short order. I've got sculpting to do on the big boy. Can't see him taking that long. What I probably ought to start with him is I ought to put the paper armature on for the stem. So by the time I'm going, what am I going to do with all this extra cut? And the paper armature is ready to go. So I can start stemming with no fear. There we go. Just have both exposed for anybody who cruises onto the channel. Oh. And I got 20 more pounds of flour today, so that's not running out anytime soon. I'm really looking forward to seeing if the more joint compound material is smoother. I really think it will be. What I do is I tape the remotes together, front to back. I can do a more closer upper of the skull. Rawr. One Scully. I gotta keep him kind of forward because he's got a stem that's drying on top. But he came out pretty well. There we go. Pumpkinify him additionally. I'm definitely going to witch wood on his stem just because parts of it really, they're not the best. And my stuff is the best. He came out well. His model was a skull from Sea of Thieves. I wanted an extremely protruding set of teeth, and I couldn't get the same sloped skull effect, but at least for what I could do, I made sure it protruded out quite a bit. He'll be a fun addition because all these guys should be ready before Halloween this year, and that'll be very nice. Very, very, very nice. Well, apart from that, gang, I'm about set for this evening. All that's left to be done is to clean off the brushes. I can actually put them in brush water. I'll take this whole thing. I haven't played Sea of Thieves in forever. I used to play it a bunch. I reinstalled it when I started watching some streamers, but I have yet to actually like hop back on and really play. I think for me, if there was a way to play Sea of Thieves, so guaranteed you wouldn't have other people out to steal your stuff all the time, I would probably be more inclined to play it. I know that's part of the mystique of the game, is that you can be pirated by other players at any point, but you know, after I've just spent a couple hours going island to island to island, let me turn in my damn treasure without having to worry about getting bogarted at the nearest station. Yeah, and they've added a lot to it. They've really taken the effort to make the game much more of a game. But it's just that here I am crawling into port after doing all my work. And a ship jumped out of nowhere and took all my stuff. Yep, 3D printed, and I started doing a little bit of experimentation in getting rid of layer lines with paper clay, which is what this patch that's slightly off color is. An incredibly thin layer of paper clay just mushed down in there. Hey, Stevenson! How we doing? Unfortunately, you're catching me just before I'm about to log off, though. FYI, sorry. I'm still kind of wondering if there's a possibility in layer line smoothing with these materials. Considering the flour gets into all the cracks. The downside, of course, is you're using, you know, stuff that can molder, but if you give a layer of shellac or something afterwards, it won't matter at all. Of course, as soon as I hit end stream, YouTube will begin processing. So if you want to take a skim through and see what we did, I mean, the most of the work is here. The other pumpkin is behind me. We got a huge bunch of its facing textured. This guy got cut out and some extra sculpting on his face. This guy got practically nothing. I just added a little bit more on that growing stem coming out the top. Ah! We're all pumpkining! 'Tis the pumpkin season! I'm loving the pumpkining season this year. It's really starting to happily grow on me. Before it was just like, get the video done, and now it's just like, yeah, pumpkins. Sweet. Very sweet. I gotta start thinking of something else cool and new to try with some of the Halloween effects this year. We'll see. See what comes to us. Yeah. Alright. Painting 8 pumpkins, good God, sir! You are a beast! My hat's off to you! I'm working myself crazy here with just, well, let's see here, 3.5, 4, not that many, nowhere near that many. Excellent, all of our stuff is going to be in great shape this year. Nice. Well, gang, I am going to call it here for today. Tomorrow I'm still off from school, so I still plan on getting more stuff done. I need to make sure I make a lot less clay because I won't need as much to get stuff done with the other pumpkin. But yeah, we're going to push through until that video's out. And then who knows, maybe I'll still crank away at a little pot project that won't be for this Halloween after that. But hey, if it gets done, it gets done. I don't like doing the red alert flash last minute Halloween stuff. So take care, gang. Thank you very much for joining me and keeping me occupied and sane whilst I sat here crafting away, and we will catch you later on. Adios. Happy Halloween. And that'll change soon.